In the face of fierce opposition from advocacy groups who argue it will lead to racial profiling, top state officials are touting a federal court ruling that lets most of a controversial law banning so-called sanctuary cities take effect. Despite public statements in favor of the legislation, Governor Greg Abbott reportedly did not want the controversial bathroom bill to reach his desk. And fueled by Alamo City's strong economy and growing population, the local housing market has grown even more unfriendly to buyers as prices continue to rise amid an extremely tight supply of home sellers. Good morning. Those are your headlines from ExpressNews.com. I'm Chance Dorland with your Express News briefing for Wednesday, March 14th. Brought to you this morning by North Park Mazda, the #1 Mazda dealer in Texas last month. In a move supported by top state officials, Tuesday a federal court ruled that most of a controversial Texas law banning so-called sanctuary cities can take effect. SB 4 punishes local officials who implement policies that limit immigration enforcement or prevent police from questioning the immigration status of anyone they detain or arrest, and also requires county jails to uphold requests by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to hold detainees suspected of being eligible for deportation. Tuesday's ruling by a 3-judge panel of the Fifth Circuit of Appeals in New Orleans overturns an injunction by a San Antonio federal judge that had found portions of the law unconstitutional. San Antonio was one of the first cities to file a lawsuit challenging SB 4, in part because the police department had a policy preventing officers from asking about immigration status. But last year, when a judge left in place provisions that allowed the Texas Attorney General to fine or remove local officials who prevent police from asking about immigration status, SAPD changed its policy to allow officers to ask about immigration while also instructing them that such questions are low priority. As a result, the city says Tuesday's ruling does not require any new policy changes, with Mayor Ron Nirenberg noting that while he's deeply disappointed by the Fifth Circuit's decision, San Antonio will remain a welcoming and compassionate city as we continue to honor the law, including individual civil rights. Texas Representative Byron Cook says despite public statements in support of the bathroom bill, Governor Greg Abbott never wanted the controversial legislation to reach his desk. Cook heads the House Select Committee on Economic Competitiveness and made the comments Tuesday during an interview with the San Antonio Express News, noting that the information was revealed to him during last year's regular legislative session in a meeting in his office that included then Abbott Chief of Staff Daniel Hodge. As chairman of the State Affairs Committee, the Texas representative refused to have a hearing on the bathroom bill during a special session called by Abbott, after it and other measures failed in the regular session. The bill, opposed by business-aligned San Antonio Republican House Speaker Joe Straus, would have restricted the public restrooms that transgender people can use. But as Cook and Straus have both opted against running for re-election, if pushed again by the Republican leadership of Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, their future absence potentially paves the way for a version of the bathroom measure to pass in next year's legislative session. Chairman Cook's comments come alongside the release of a report by his select committee that slams the bathroom bill anew, with warnings against efforts to revive the measure. Last year, Texas faced the prospect of boycotts if lawmakers had approved the bill, with the report noting the state's success was seriously threatened as lawmakers were forced to divert their attention from critical topics like education, property taxes, the state's budget, and infrastructure. Last month, the local housing market grew even more unfriendly to buyers, as the supply of homes for sale remained extremely tight while prices continued to rise. Despite a shortage of construction workers and the tight supply of homes for sale that has caused San Antonio prices to spiral upward in recent years, data from the San Antonio Board of Realtors shows in February there was a 3.2% increase in local home sales from last year, continuing 7 years of nearly monthly growth, fueled by Alamo City's strong economy and growing population. Last month, the median price of a home in the local metro area was $215,100, a 6.1% increase from a year earlier. Local real estate agent Monique Bordalone says the tight market has made it increasingly difficult for her clients to find homes, especially in moderate price ranges, noting that buyers need to be aggressive in the current seller-friendly market. And for over a year, San Antonio Express News criminal justice enterprise reporter Emily Eaton had exclusive access to a group of 38 San Antonio cadets as they underwent training at the San Antonio Police Training Academy. Part 4 of Eaton's 5-part series focuses on those who made it through the training to become San Antonio police officers, including San Antonio native and class president Frank Lopez III.
This is my second time through the academy. The first time going through the process was pretty smooth. Didn't have no real hiccups going through. Starting the academy day one, my first academy was just 2016 Alpha. Day one, I doing push-ups of all things, and I dislocated my shoulder. that was pretty hard. Kept on pushing through, and I managed to make it all the way to week 28, and then finally at that point, I got recycled. I stayed working here at the police academy doing paperwork, answering phones, and stuff like that until I recovered from the surgery. Started again, and that was tough. That was tough, knowing what was going to happen, what was going to be expected. It was very tough, but I knew I can do it, and it wasn't easy, but here I am.
All 5 chapters of San Antonio Express News criminal justice enterprise reporter Emily Eaton's Embed with San Antonio Police Academy trainee class 2017 Alpha are now available online at expressnews.com. And that's your Express Briefing for Wednesday, March 14th from expressnews.com. Brought to you this morning by North Park Mazda, the #1 Mazda dealer in Texas last month. I'm Chance Dorland.